I believe the Ukraine conflict is at its tearing point. I believe that once President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, has received the unconditional capitulation of the Ukrainian government, he will continue to attack what I will refer to going forward as the European coalition. I would like to formally acknowledge my immediate distrust and disinterest in the nation of Italy and a representative of Alessandra Mussolini. I firmly believe that if an European war were to take place, the Italian government and Alessandra Mussolini will join the Russian Federation against the European coalition. I firmly believe Alessandra is immortally and immaterially angry, to the point that she would betray her own country for the image of fascism, for the memory of her grandfather. She will join the Russian Federation to burn it down, just out of hate. Here is my timeline of events going forwards. Ukraine will capitulate to the Russian Federation. Vladimir Putin will attack the European coalition. Italy will join the Russian Federation in its attack against the European coalition. North Korea will actually invade South Korea at this moment. I am afraid of the candidness with which Representative Kim Jung Un said that he can get his soldiers fighting in Ukraine to commit suicide upon capture, because that is power, right? To get someone 3,000 miles away to commit suicide in fear of repercussions from you 3,000 miles away in the darkness. That is power. It is a small jump from suicide to being a suicide bomber. We saw this with the Japanese and German mindset and fighting ethics in World War II, that you can turn a suicide into a suicide bomber. It's so easy to get a soldier to have a feast with his family, to get one night for the family to kiss their dead child goodbye, to put a bomb vest on that person, to put a jian or a dao in his hand, and he will charge the DMZ. He will charge the front line of the Korean border, and he will be glad to do it because his suicide bombing will bring honor to his family and grace to his death. North Korea will invade South Korea, and the Chinese government will be aware, complicit in this. We are currently drawing a direct parallel of criticism between the addition of President Trump's portrait in the passport to Mao Zedong's inclusion in the Chinese national passport. And that is to remind Chinese nationals of upright philosophy, of upright communist constitution with the image of the founder Mao Zedong. And I would argue that Mao Zedong, wanting to always further the revolution internally, constructively, would not want the arming of suicide bombers overseas. We will see a complicit Chinese government through the view of a fellow communist revolutionary government is furthering their borders. Everyone clap. I will not clap for a suicide bomber. America, the United States of America, will begin what I will refer to as the America's Wars. The invasions of, Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, just the surrounding and strangulation of the entire continental South America. And this will cause the governments, and this is, I know you guys are laughing at me at this point, but you gotta chill. I know, right? The governments of Mexico, Canada, and China will actually form a triple alliance to intervene in the America's wars to stop the invasion, to stop all the killing and bloodshed, because we're not going to succeed on any specific war front in neither Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Guyana, any of them. So we will open more war fronts in the hopes that we can outmaneuver our opposition and just push through other countries to snake around the flanks. But that's not gonna work. And so bodies will pile up until our neighbors say, we'll stop it for you. We will see the partition of America. And this is what I have envisioned. It will look like The Man in the High Castle, where China actually has control of the West Coast, Oregon, Washington, California, further area. And then I will be forced to negotiate the surrender of Texas and Oklahoma to the Mexican government in exchange for peace. And the East Coast from New York probably to Georgia or Florida maybe will become the possession of Canada. And that unintegrated fringe middle territory, from Illinois to Louisiana, will be governed by me, the remnants of the most centralized, sophisticated vestige of the American government. In time, you will understand my tagline, everything to everybody. I will be the reason the lights turn on. I will be the reason the grocery store is open. I will be the reason gas prices are cheap. I will be the reason there is a vestige of America to reconnect the whole pieces into one. It is inevitable to me that if America were to be partitioned, we all want our country to come back together. Maybe not in 20 years, but in 100.